boys high school lacrosse from Jamesville-Dewitt High School as the Marcellus Mustangs take on the Jamesville-Dewitt Red Rams. This game is brought to you by Onondaga Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation Center, Syracuse's answer to sports injuries, and Bryan Lacrosse, the power behind the game. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Jamesville-Dewitt High School. My name is Dave Jackler, along with Joe Insel. And Joe, we've got a very good matchup today. Two teams coming in with undefeated league records at 3-0, JD and Marcellus. Marcellus 5-1, JD 4-2. A team that gets a win here today, really in the driver's seat in the Division III race.
You know, I'll tell you, if this game plays up to the potential, it could be one of the best ones we've shown you in a long time. Got two teams with very interesting histories and quite different, but they both play the game so well. JD doesn't shy away from any opponents, even though they've moved because of enrollment down to Division III. Just played West Genesee, only lost by a goal, and they played Fayetteville Manly as Division I schools. Marcellus has had a history that's very short but very exciting. They've turned out some dynamite athletes, some gone to Division I programs, but they only had a history of about 10 years, and they've done so much in so short a time. So they come from disparate points of view, but both play the game well. It should be a dynamite one.
Different style programs, a little bit different style tempo today?
I think so. I think what Marcellus likes to do is favor body-type defense. They don't play position defense as much, but they may show me something different today because they're beginning to learn the game and playing a little bit smarter. I think JD, as I said, may move the ball a little bit better, but I tell you one thing. Marcellus has about 11 players from their undefeated JV team. That's going to infuse some talent with the senior leadership. Should be a fun one.
Both teams 3-0 in the league. Joe Insel will be back after this to talk to Marcellus head coach John Longwell.
Back just a couple of picks to the 17th selection of the first round, with a pick originally owned by Washington Atlanta. Their second selection going for Tim Green, linebacker.
After all these years in the NFL with the Atlanta Falcons, I've taken my share of bumps and bruises. I know how important sports medicine is. That's why I recommend Onondaga Sports Medicine. Whether you're a professional or a weekend athlete, Don Lowe and his professionally trained staff at Onondaga Sports Medicine will treat you like a pro.
Joined by John Longwell, head coach. Dr. John, tell me, how's the program doing so far this year?
Well, we're doing well, except for the weather situation. This will be our 7th game, and we've practiced 3 times on a regulation field. Most of the time's been parking lot or gym or on a hillside, so we get a little work in grass. But the kids have proved to be mutters. We've played all of our games in foul weather, and we're doing fine. We're doing very well.
I mentioned you got a blend of some JV players who moved up, and you've got some senior leadership. How's that mix working out?
Very well, very well. This is probably the most unselfish team I've ever had. 90% of our goals have been assisted this year, and the kids are looking for each other. Most of our quote leaders have more assists than goals, so we're very pleased. As long as we keep that up, we're fine.
Let's talk about a couple of your key players. Let's start with number 6, Eric Doust.
Eric Doust played varsity for me as a 10th grader, and then last year, because he was a hockey player and wanted to, we don't have it at Marcellus, he went to prep school down at Trinity Pauling. And this year he came back for his senior year, and he's kind of our all-round player that we've been waiting for since we lost Brian Eisenberg 2 years ago, and does a real nice job. Blends in well. He played with these kids all the way up until 10th grade, and so they know each other well, and he generally runs things from the midfield.
And on the attack, Rob Aitchison.
Rob Aitchison. Rob is just keeps on trucking. He's a little thin guy, can run all day. He's a cross-country man, and you just can't let him out. He's plays behind the cage, excellent feeder, not afraid to go to the cage. We scrape him up after he scores a goal and throw him right back in there. Just a great kid.
What do you got to do to win today, Coach? JD's tough team.
Well, number one, we have to shut down offense. They've got Doug Jackson and several other kids that can put the ball in the hole on you. And we've got to stop Doug and make sure that if they're going to beat us, they're going to have to beat us with the other kids. And then offensively, they've got Derek Wolfhanger is an outstanding defensive player, and the rest of them aren't half bad either. They run a very good defense. I watched them against West Genesee the other day, and it was a 4-4 game until the last 23 seconds, and they did a nice job of shutting down West Genesee.
It'll be a challenge. I'm sure your kids are up to it.
Absolutely, it'll be a challenge. I'm hoping everybody's up for it. We've, as I mentioned to you before, we've had a tragedy this week. One of our midfielders, Terry White, lost his dad to a heart attack on Sunday, and he won't be playing today. And you know, the team's all with Terry and his family, and we're just going to make it through it.
Well, our prayers are with the family, and all the best to you and your team today, Coach. Thanks for spending time with us. That's Dr. John Longwell, head coach of Marcellus. We're going to be right back with Jim Pastillo, his counterpart, as Dave talks to him, and right after this.
Lacrosse, the power behind the game.
Welcome back. JD getting set to take on Marcellus, and we're joined now by Jamesville-Dewitt head coach Jim Pastillo. And Jim, you're off to a 4-2 start. Are you happy with the way things have gone so far this season?
Yeah, so far. You know, the weather and not being able to practice on fields every day. We've been playing very well the last couple games. This will be our third game in a row, which is, you know, I'm a little leery about, but you know, we played pretty good lacrosse the last two games.
Now, one of the more recent games you played was a 5-4 loss to West Genesee. How do you build on that game? Is that the kind of game that you can take as sort of a moral victory and use that to your advantage as the league schedule keeps on progressing?
Well, you know, we'd have liked to win the game, and I think we had an opportunity to. But you know, the kids realize now if they play well, they can play with the best teams around. So you know, and to that effect, I say, yeah, it's a moral victory.
Now, you mentioned the 3 games right in a row. Are you going to try to maybe rotate your lines, your second and third midfield lines, second and third attack lines, to keep the players fresh?
Yeah, we run defensive midfield and 2 offensive midfield. So I mean, that's 9 middies right there. So you know, we play a lot of people.
Your team, the defending sectional champs, and you look down your roster, all 10 of your starters are seniors. That's got to give you a great advantage heading down the stretch this season to have such senior leadership on your side.
Yeah, all 10 are starting seniors, but there's only 3 of them who started last year. So, you know, those kids were in backup rows last year, and they're seniors, and that helps. You know, the leadership being just a senior really helps you out a lot.
Some of your key players today, your goaltender, Kerry Kresge. Talk a bit about him.
Kerry's been doing a great job for us. He was our backup goalie last year. And he's been doing a real good job. I mean, we've only allowed, most goals we've allowed in the game is 8. And a loss to FM, and then since then we've allowed no more than 5 goals, and that was the West Jenny.
Another key player, the attackman, number 15, Doug Jackson, who had a big game yesterday.
Yeah, Doug had an early season injury and missed our first 2 games, and since then he's come on. He's healed. I think he's 100%, and I think he's one of the premier attackmen in Central New York.
Okay, Coach, what kind of game do you expect today against Marcellus?
I think it'll be a midi game. I hope you know, we can control the face-off. Cable Pearson midfielder's been really controlling the midfield for us at face-offs, and I think it's going to be a midi game.
Jim Pastillo, head coach of JD, best of luck today. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be back with the starting lineups and the opening face-off after this.
Lacrosse, the power behind the game.
Welcome back, everyone, to Jamesville-Dewitt High School. The starting lineups for this afternoon's game. First for Marcellus. We'll take a look at them now on the attack. Aitchison, Longwill, and Battaglia. Actually, Moses starting in place of Battaglia today. The midfield line will be Dost, Bell, and Chrysler. And on defense, Germain, Roosh, and Ellis. And in goalie, the keeper today, Matt Sheridan, number 46. And Joe, the lineups for JD.
The Red Rams are going to, just being introduced on the field now as you see it, they're going to have Kidney, Waldman, and Jackson at the attack, Ellison, Schroeder, and Pierce at midfield. And the long sticks, Sullivan, Kennelly, and Wolfanger, and Kresge in the goal.
Both teams undefeated in league play. As we take a look at the referees,
on the
left,
Jake Curran and Chris Murphy on the right.
Quite a age difference between the two refs today.
Jake's been around a while and senior official, and also does college as well. And Chris is relatively new by Jake standards. That's true.
Both teams undefeated in league play at 3-0 in Division III play. JD at 4-2 overall. Marcellus with a record of 5-1. And a beautiful day here as JD will play for the first time on their home field. They played a couple of games at Coyne Field at the beginning of the season, and then being on the road and playing on a different home field, it's got to be nice for them to be on their home field for the first time.
It is, and home field or not, it's a little spongy in spots, greasy in others. Had a lot of rain, and it's a beautiful day today, but days preceding this have not been very good to the Central New York playing fields, and this one's no exception. The face-off area, a lot of mud around it.
And the goal area.
Yep, the goal area, and just outside the crease, it's a little inconsistent, I'd say.
Opening face-off, Cable Pierce will take it for JD, and Scott Chrysler for Marcellus. 4 10-minute quarters as two 3-0 teams do battle. Should be a good game here. And JD will control the opening face-off. Cable Pierce and gets it ahead. Some players to watch. Doug Jackson had 6 goals yesterday against Homer. Dave Kidney, also a pretty good scorer. But Doug Jackson, the man to watch. He'll be attending Syracuse University next year.
Yeah, JD almost had a fast break situation, which Marcellus diffused.
And right away, Jackson puts it home. And quickly, JD's on top, 1-0.
Good action behind the cage as they work the ball around, and then just like that, they get a score. See it? Feeds right to the crease. He's not there. He's not covered. The defense overplayed him.
And the two players we mentioned, Dave Kidney and Doug Jackson, hook up. So Jackson, with 6 goals yesterday, picks up right in the first 17 seconds with a goal here. Jackson the goal, and Dave Kidney credited with an assist. And JD off to the quick start, 1-0. And anytime you play on a sloppy field like this, ground balls are the most difficult area of the game.
Got a player down over here at the center face-off area. He's out of the playing field, so they won't stop play yet, but now they do. Loose ball, so they're going to blow the whistle dead, and we'll have him checked out.
Still waiting to see who the injured Marcellus player is.
It's one of our key players, Eric Doust.
Eric Doust, the midfielder. And Coach Longwill is checking his left knee at this point.
There's a lot of loose ball situation before possession was declared.
Then there's a Doust right there.
He is right here.
See if you can watch. He slips a little bit there.
Yep, that's where turned him underneath, and that's what put him on the ground. That's sad to see anytime, anywhere, and the footing on that side of the field is a little greasy, and that may have contributed to it. We just featured Eric in our open. Hopefully he'll be up and around in relatively short time.
And we should mention about the field, there was some doubt until early this morning about whether the game was going to be played on this field. They were thinking of playing at an alternate site, but they did ultimately decide to play here at JD High School. And right away, 41 seconds into the game, an injury, as Eric slipped on the turf.
He's in a little bit of pain. Hopefully that Marcellus can come together and adjust from that, because when you lose one of your key players and early on, and then as Coach Longwell alluded to in our open, there's been tragedy in the families of one of the players, and the team has to stay focused, and that's tough. No question about it.
Right now, 9:19 to play in the first quarter. We're going to take a break. JD leads Marcellus 1-0. Right back after this.
Brine Lacrosse, the power behind the game.
Back at Jamesville-Dewitt High School, and there you see Eric Doust being carried off by 3 of his teammates and Coach Longwell. So obviously the fact that he cannot put any weight on the leg is not a good sign.
No, we have a face-off in the open area there. When you have play stoppage for something like this, you have to face it off, and they face it off outside the box, 20 yards parallel to the goal. In this case now we're going to face it again because they were unable to determine off of whose stick the ball went out of bounds.
And back to the injury, it looked like the left leg that was being favored, and the fact that he had to be carried off the field, he couldn't put any weight on it at all.
It's a good precaution to take. Hopefully it's just that, a precaution, and he'll be able to put some weight on that.
1-0 JD on top as we're about a minute into this ball game. And JD comes up with the face-off. The Red Rams have taken 1 shot and they scored on it. And they lose the pass out of bounds. Doug Jackson with the goal. And Marcellus will now have to make do without one of their top scorers, Eric, with 2 goals and 12 assists. So he's really a key feeder on the team, setting up some of the bigger scoring players like Aitchison and Longwell. But he's not available now. Derek Bell, number 8, in to replace him.
Derek's a dynamite player, came up from JV. Saw him play a couple times last year in an undefeated JV team. So they maybe lose a step in terms of senior maturity. And Coach Longwell says that they're a very unselfish team.
Mark Murphy also in the game, number 18, at the midfield position. And a little stoppage in play here as the referee had to chase down the ball. Usually you see youngsters running around to do that job.
It's a luxury sometimes high school games don't have to have that many ball boys. They usually put a couple extra balls on the end line, if that, and if they're lucky enough to have a ball boy, that's a bonus. It's up to the home team, though, to have a ball boy there to retrieve or position balls at the end line. Good job, work to the center, but he's covered. Nice job by the defense to stick check that away.
Tight ride by JD. And now Marcellus will move into the offensive half for the first time. Michael Smith cannot control it.
Use your sideline.
Paul Schroeder gets it ahead to Jackson. Jackson off to SU next year. He reminds me a bit of a current Orangeman, Casey Donegan, in that he's very low to the ground, only 5'8", 150 pounds, but certainly excellent stick skills, as we saw earlier when he scored the goal.
Low center of gravity. Nice save.
Sheridan with the stop, and he comes away out.
There's a slash.
That one's going to go against the Red Rams.
Should be number 3 getting a penalty for a minute, and I saw a slash as Scott Ellison swung around. So 1 minute. So Marcellus going to have man up, and it's going down the other end of the field. Watch, he'll come up with the ball.
This is right after the save by Sheridan.
Right, and there's a swing right there. Bing, uncontrolled stick. There's a slash official right on this side, spotted it. And just like that, Marcellus gets a chance to get back in the game.
7:37 to play in the first quarter. Kerry Kresge, one of our key players in the pregame, is the goalie for JD, and he's yet to be tested so far. Six-on-5 situation for Marcellus in the offensive half. Rob Aitchison, a man to watch. He's roaming in front. He's all alone, but the pass was too high for him. He's the leading scorer in Division III with 13 goals and 6 assists.
They may want to take another look before you force a pass in like that. You had a little bit of time. You got a man advantage. Move the ball around, spread the defense. But they tried to get one into Rob, and it just didn't click that time. Nobody was behind either.
So now JD will try to clear it and get into the other zone and release the penalty.
You want to be doubling up the man with the ball because you are still man up until they get it in the box. It's still a free ball.
And still no control.
And now it's a release.
Penalty's released. And here's an opportunity for a score here. Kidney tried to hit Jeremy Waldman around the crease, but could not connect on the pass. Sheridan really trying to help out a lot. He's very active in the Marcellus clearing attempt.
He's also pretty far away from his cage. You might want to get back there. He's drifted out a little bit. And if that ball turns over quick, he might be well advised to get back.
The midfield line, Derek Bell, Scott Chrysler, and Mark Murphy, who's in for the injured player.
If Murphy's, Jeremy Murphy's younger brother, is two really quick studies in the game of lacrosse. Jeremy played a few years back, went to Herkimer, and now I believe is going to UMass.
Chrysler with the pass in front and a score. The coach's son, John Longwell, puts it home, and we're tied at 1.
Nice look to the center of the field. Right there, a good heads-up play to feed right into the crease area. You're going to look from behind the cage. There's your man cutting right there. Nice quick stick. Bingo. Defense comes up there to make it slide, but it wasn't fast enough, and we're even at 1.
Longwell with his 6th goal of the season, and an assist for number 16, Scott Chrysler. So we're tied at 1. 6:06 to go in the first. Face-off between Chrysler and Pierce is controlled by JD. JD works it around. Jackson setting up on the left wing.
Marcellus defense compressing a little bit, sagging in, forcing them to shoot from the perimeter. But they do have a man on crease and loosely covered right now, so there might be opportunity for the feed inside. 1-4-1 right now, spreads out to D a little bit.
A little bit different style than most. Usually when it's not a man-up situation, most teams will play man-to-man defense.
And on occasion, the 1-4-1 is a great way to handle a man down as well, even when they are playing zone. So it's a good way to attack a defense that's compressed on you. But you're right, almost always it's man.
Here's a wind-up and a bounce shot that was blocked nicely by Todd Roosh. So he got his leg in the way of that shot. John Ellis, the long stick, brings it up.
Man on. See, that's where you got to communicate. You got to say man on so that the guy knows there's somebody coming over his shoulder. He can dish off or maybe shelter the ball closer to his body. Didn't have any kind of communication there. That's what coaches like to see. Let me clarify. What they'd like to see is communication.
4.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Jackson makes a move, and he's quickly double teamed. Now he gets off a shot and a score. Number 2 for Doug Jackson. And that was a total individual move. Unassisted goal for Doug Jackson.
Good athletic effort, good individual effort on his part. We'll take a look at it. He's got men on him. Now he just rolls away from the coverage, swings out there. Now he's got the man beat. This is where the other defenseman's got to slide. But notice he had number 16 beat. You just got to cut your angle when your man's swinging around wide like that. And defense didn't do that, but he popped it in. Good job on his part.
After 6 goals yesterday to give him 11 on the season, 2 more today for Doug Jackson. One thing I asked Jim Costello in the pregame was, if you, after playing 3 games now in 4 days, is he going to try to mix the lineups a bit to try to keep people fresh? But so far, it's pretty much stayed with the same base lineup here in the first quarter.
Seems to be a formula that's working for him at the moment.
Well, with the weather, the makeup game, they had to play Homer yesterday in a game that was made up.
A lot of games rescheduled, and they're trying to sandwich in a season in a relatively short period of time. That's one of the things. Lacrosse season, as beautiful as it is so short, and before you know it, it's over with.
Jackson has a chance for the hat trick. Sheridan is able to come up with it. Long pass ahead.
Very fortunate for Marcellus if they come up with it. They don't, because that was a cheap clear to the center of the field.
And here's a great opportunity and a score. And a big mistake that time from Devin Canale. He had the ball and was stripped of it, and that gave an easy opportunity as John Longwell scores his second.
Which started out
Longwell and Jackson going head-to-head.
Which started out as a marginal clear for Marcellus. It ended up being really great. There's a left-handed shot by Longwell. Defense team trying to slide over there, but they are not able to. Good field sense. Longwell right there with the right sticks at the right time.
So far on the faceoffs, JD controlling it, and usually that will equate to a lead, but right now 2-2 as Marcellus and John Longwell have tied it at 2. Another face-off, and this time Marcellus looking to control, still loose.
JD again.
Pierce, the face-off man, comes up with it, and now 6-0 face-off advantage for JD. Jackson looking to answer Longwell. Oh, pass too hard that time from Waldman. But the slow grass keeps it in bounds. Normally, that's a surefire out of bounds, but JD's able to retain possession.
In that particular situation, they had Marcellus defense all turned facing the ball, and it was a good backdoor move. There's another one.
There's a quick stick, and is that Jackson again?
Again, the ball was behind the crease, and they fed over the defense all looking towards the ball. Nobody's for sure.
It's going to be Waldman, I believe. We'll take a look at the replay.
It's either Doug Jackson or Waldman. We'll take a look as they come around here because all the defense is looking this way. Now he's going to do a cross-crease feed, and you follow the camera swing over by the goal mouth, and then just as quick as we can come over there, you've got a shot. It's not easy to follow this game. And
I couldn't tell.
That was a blur, but it probably looked like a blur to the Marcellus goaltender.
Kidney had the assist, we know that much, and that's his second assist.
Another face-off for JD. Marcellus going to have to make a change on terms of face-off. I think he came out of the cage before possession was... No, apparently the flag is... I think it's going to have a trip call on White. We'll take a look as they call it on the other side. The bench is on the opposite side, but a very...
It's a 1 minute penalty.
1 minute penalty on a trip. It'll be number 23, White. And while Cable Pierce sits in the penalty box and reflects on that little action, Marcellus is man up for a minute.
The last time they were man up, they could not score. 2:22 to go, 3-2 in favor of JD.
Got good rotation. Just keep moving the ball around to spread that defense. Okay.
Longwell tried to shoot it before he had it.
Still man up, Green, so you might want to double the ball.
And Longwell tried to kick it that time.
And they got him for it.
And you can't do that.
Right, procedure on the green. It's going to be JD's ball. Now, you should double the man with the ball because there's still man up, our Marcellus. Let's see if they do pressure the ball as it comes in.
About 30 seconds left in the penalty. JD will be looking to try to enter the attack zone and release the penalty. We'll take a look at it. You see Longwell lost his stick and they tried to kick at it. And JD with a quick opportunity and a score. Dave Kidney puts it home, and JD, what almost amounts to a short-handed goal, even though the penalty had been released. They go up 4-2.
That's really effectively a 2-goal swing because Marcellus had it down at their end with a man advantage for a minute. They turn it over, comes all the way down the other end. On a dead ball situation, they're not able to double the ball coming in. Gets down there in a quick, unsettled situation. JD picks one up. As you said, though, it did release when they stepped in the box, but nevertheless, it's a 2-goal swing, and that's a big boost for JD right now.
JD off to a quick start. Marcellus not used to giving up this many goals. They've had given up 4 here in the first quarter, which is a pace of 16. You don't normally see a Marcellus team give up 16 goals. And Marcellus a bit rattled as they, with a mental mistake, Mark Murphy stepping on the sideline.
Wonder if Delst's injury still got him shook up a little bit. A little unsettled situation. You got to make some changes in your lineup.
Doust is standing on the sideline.
Yeah, that's a very good sign.
Devin Canale, the long stick, tries to feed it in front.
Nice look to Waldman. Waldman cutting from behind crease, looking for a quick shot right off the pass.
And one thing about the JD defenders, Canale and Wolfanger, they're both very good stick handlers, attack-type skills with the long stick, so they're not afraid to take it into the offensive half and try to do some work down there.
Long sticks would love to put a point on the board. Either an assist or a score. They'd love to score if they could. Man on.
Good stick work by Cleary. And Marcellus with the sloppy pass again. They can't clear it. JD quick in the transition. We've seen that a couple of times where they've been able to take advantage of some numbers. Jackson in front. Great
nice
save by Sheridan.
Yeah, Okay,
And
you got a
Jackson will be
crease
called
violation.
for being in the crease. If he scores the goal, it's not a crease violation, but that's a chance you take.
It was a nice look as he was cutting from behind, though. And good opportunity for JD to look for the cutter. See, there's your pass right there. Here's your cutter. Nice quick stick. Good idea because the defense is lagging behind a little bit. But he stepped in the crease and goalie stoned him, though.
Great save from Sheridan. Big time hit there from Wolfanger.
You don't want to float your passes. You want them nice and crisp so you don't have a buddy pass. Good job by the defense to set that one off. And he's on the line. Way to use the end line. Going up green.
Less than a minute to play, 44 seconds.
And Marcellus going to take a timeout to think about what to do with this. Take a look at the save here. First of all, he's going to come along. It'll be the goalie's right. Defense slides, but he gets the ball off just before the defender gets there. But nice job to cut the angle by Sheridan in the cage.
Looked like that one might have hit the pipe.
He didn't give him much of an angle, though, so he forced him to go that inside. And but the defense was there, too, to obstruct him a little bit.
And look at these numbers here. The face-off's a big key so far, and also
the clears.
The clears.
Yep, that's very key points. You know, one of the things about a clear and a face-off stat, sometimes you come up with a face-off and lose it quickly. So you can draw some different conclusions from those data. Same things with a clear. You can get the ball over the midfield line and quickly lose it. But this game has not been a surprise in the sense that all the clears have gone down to unsettled situations for JD, and they've come up big with them. Those
beautiful,
are
beautiful day.
Those are sunglasses those people are wearing. We haven't had much occasion to do that in Central New York.
First day in a while. Both these teams 3-0 in league play.
Just a comment on the league structure now. JD has moved from Division II to Division III, and that move is defined by its enrollment. But their program hasn't changed that much. It's still a quality program, and as I said in the beginning of our show, they don't shy away from Division I opponents like FM and West Genesee.
Their only 2 losses of the year. FM was 8-3, and West Genny a tough one just this Saturday, 5-4. Marcellus with one last chance here. About 30 seconds left in the quarter.
They've got time if they get it down the other end, but
looks like they're going 2 for 9 on the clears now.
It's going to stay green ball. White. They'll put it in play on the restraining line.
And Joe, good news here. Eric Doust back in the game.
It is a good sign.
You recall he went down with a leg injury just first minute of the game and looked very serious at the time as he was carried off, but he shook off the injury.
Still Marcellus ball with 15 seconds left. They got a chance here. They can work it in from behind, get a quick stick. They can put a point on the board. Well, Eric's not favoring that leg very much either. He's just moving around pretty good.
Aitchison, who's been silent here in the first quarter, works behind the cage in front, and a score.
There it is. That was pretty. 5 seconds left, and they put it in.
Scott Chrysler with his first.
You had plenty of time bringing the ball in from behind. You're going to take a look over the goalie's back. Dish it to the front. There's a man covered, or I should say uncovered at the crease. And Chrysler puts one on the board. You don't like to see that when you're JD when you got that few seconds left. 5 seconds left before this period ends. So the face-off will come up and clock will run out.
Aitchison credited with the assist, and Chrysler makes it a 4-3 game. And that's got to be a nice momentum swing there, right? 5 seconds left in the quarter to put one in like that. Here's the face-off, and that'll take the remaining time off the clock. A good first quarter, pretty much what we expected. 2 good teams going at it, and it's been a good first quarter. The score, JD 4, Marcellus 3. We'll be back with the second quarter right after this.
Lacrosse, the power behind the game.
Welcome back to JD High School at the end of one quarter, 4-3. And both teams going through their mandatory stick check at the end of the first. Marcellus has to feel a little bit better. They had the key injury to their key player, Eric Doust, and now he's back. And is at one point being down 4-2. A goal with 5 seconds left makes it 4-3. So all in all, on the road, not a bad first quarter for them.
Not at all. It was a very persistent first quarter for them. They stayed with it, stayed focused. It had that what amounted to, we said, as a 2-goal swing when they were man up. Turned the ball over without scoring. Goes all the way down the other end of the field. JD puts one on the board to put them up 2 goals, but they just come right back into it. Good to see.
And there's a wide shot of the beautiful day we're having here in central New York.
Don't adjust your sets, folks. It's blue sky in central New York.
Not a cloud. The teams switch ends, and we are ready for the second quarter. One thing that happened there, Eric Doust picking up the loose ball. He seems to be, as I'm watching him off camera, he is favoring the leg a little bit.
Yeah, he is. I see it now, too.
Good chance there for Marcellus. Kresge up to the task. Marcellus still in possession. Aitchison works in front. Good matchup there. Rob Aitchison against Devin Canale.
Nice look to the crease.
Great stick work from Wolfganger, who will join his teammate Doug Jackson at SU next year.
How convenient that long stick stayed up there for him to just pick it up and continue to go after the loose ball. Man behind, right there. Okay, they pick him up.
Scott Ellison will settle. Scott Ellison rather will settle things down. Here's a wind up and a shot and a score. Jackson puts it home again. Wow, he had a lot on that shot.
That was just raw power. That one went right by the goaltender before he had a chance to blink.
It's not like he wasn't surprised he shot it. He wound up.
If he sees something, steps in a little bit closer, the defense starts to come to him, he just whistles one right there. That was just a super shot. Good position by the ball. Just found that upper corner and threaded it right in. Upper right corner shot.
Top corner, and that's unofficially number 3 for Doug Jackson.
One thing you do as a defender is you realize that this guy can shoot from that far. I'm going to pick him up next time. It's a painful answer and a painful lesson.
JD trying to continue their dominance on faceoffs, but Marcellus comes up with this one. Nice move from Chrysler. Marcellus down by 2.
Nice feed to the crease.
Man in front, Aitchison, was lucky to be behind there. Battaglia in the game, tries to get something going. And no clock here, unlike college lacrosse. College, you only have 10 seconds to get it over midfield.
Out of that defensive zone and another 10 seconds to get into your offensive zone. Those limit lines are different this year, though. They go all the way across the top of the box to the ends, or the sidelines of the field, and we have a timeout.
7:59 to go, 5-3 in favor of JD.
Marcellus had a couple nice looks to the crease area, and Aitchison was open a couple times. I was surprised that he was open the second time after the first feed to him went pretty much unchecked.
Division III standings, Marcellus and JD tied at 3-0. Atop the league, Lafayette at 2-1, just a game behind. Skinny Atlas 1-1, Homer at 1-2. So pretty much it looks like a 2-team race for the top here. And the winner will be in the driver's seat today with a 4-0 record.
Marcellus did quite a number on Lafayette, too, a fine Lafayette program, and I think they won like something 12-4. So they really turned it up a notch for that game.
7:59 to go. As we take a look at the replay here, Marcellus had a pretty good scoring opportunity just before the timeout.
A couple looks to the inside, and you're going to see Aitchison, number 12, off to the side. You see him on your right of your screen? Now there's one feed to him. And he drops the ball, or it gets checked away from his stick. But he had the one feed there, and he was open. Defense was turned, and had he made that catch and then quick stick that, he would have been fine.
Dr. John Longwill pacing the sideline.
I believe that's Stu Snyder to his left in the green with his arms folded, green jacket, assisting John Longwell.
John Longwell Jr. has 2 goals in this game. Here's an opportunity. Ouch, right in the face mask. As Andrew Germain took that one off the chops. Marcellus will get the ball.
Yeah, they caught him for playing the ball from out of bounds. And it's going to come up Marcellus' ball.
Kevin Palmer, the attackman for JD. And watch it hit Germain right in the face.
That's why they wear face masks.
Chrysler has it knocked off his cross.
Nice look to Murphy down the center.
Shovel pass from Waldman.
Oh, they had numbers too. They had men on both sides of the crease, did Marcellus.
Still looking for control, and JD loses it out of bounds. Dennis Sullivan, the senior defenseman. All 10 starters for JD are seniors. And I talked to Jim Costello, and he said all 10 are looking to play college lacrosse somewhere. 2 of his players have committed to SU, Jackson and Wolfanger. And Cable Pierce will be playing at Cortland next year. Some other players are still waiting as we get down to the final days here. They're concentrating on lacrosse, but they're also thinking about where they're going to go to school next year.
No question. You know, the JD program has fed some top college programs over the years, and as I mentioned earlier, Marcellus, as young a program as it is, have dropped a few players into the ranks of the college ranks as well. So quality programs.
JD does not always help the area school, Syracuse. They've helped North Carolina most recently.
And most recently, that's true with Spears, I believe it is.
Yep.
But one most notable, and he's a referee in the game of lacrosse now, is Matty Palin, former All-American goalie at SU.
JD up by 2 with the ball. They set up Jackson again, but he couldn't hang on. Quickly, Chrysler with a head of steam.
Nice look right there.
There's the open man.
Murph.
And a score.
Nope, that's not Murph. I'm sorry.
Waldman puts it home.
I thought it was an 18. It was a 10. It was a nice skim shot right across the bottom of the crease. Nice look by Waldman. You're going to take a look over Waldman's shoulder as the ball comes right to left, and there you are. Take a look, and just skims it right underneath there. The goalie had to move his stick around, but nice look by Waldman.
I'm sorry, that was Longwell. Long number 10.
You convinced me. I'm like a puppet. Whatever you say, I follow.
Hat trick. Cuts the lead to 5-4. JD looking for more, and that is Waldman.
Big goal.
We got that one right.
It's a matter of what colored shirts they wear, right? Pair of 10s both put points on the board. And I'll tell you, JD really needed that goal right there to get him back with a 2-goal lead. Ball comes down, and you can see as you're looking over Waldman's shoulder, he's relatively uncovered. Nobody's there.
Defensive breakdown.
Defensive breakdown, no communication on the long sticks. Close defense has got to get numbers as they're coming down on a fast break. Starts with the goaltender, who Sheridan's got to yell out fast break. They all got to come into a nice tight triangle and then make their slides.
And every time Marcellus cuts it to 1, JD gets it right back. It's 4-2, 4-3, 5-3, then 5-4, and it's back to 6-4 in favor of the Red Rams. Here's another open man, shot way too high.
Okay, see number 8 on this side. The offside attackman is relatively uncovered because Marcellus is zoning over and overplaying on the ball side, or the side where the ball is. But they got to look back door. They got to look backside. Make sure that the pass doesn't go across crease to an open man.
Kidney was just setting up on the doorstep, but this time he cannot convert. Derek Bell as Marcellus looks to have some numbers. But JD gets back defensively very nicely.
2 green shirts right there on the ground ball. Marcellus really turned it up a notch in this series.
Loose ball push on Marcellus, so JD gets it back, up by 2. Halfway through the second quarter, 5:02 to go. And with Marcellus playing the zone defense, do they maybe switch to man-to-man? I mean, they've been playing zone all game, and it seems that very often open men will pop up for JD.
Well, they're gonna, as like you said, they're going to have to watch the back side. If they all zone over and overplay the ball side, there's always an opportunity for someone backdoor.
Here's another open man, and the over-the-head shot attempted by Waldman.
When it goes in, you're a hero. When it doesn't go in, the coach wants to take a hold of your neck for a few minutes.
Sheridan was way out of the cage that time, but nice job by Michael Smith covering the crease. Longwell was open. He thought he had it in his cross, but forgot the most important part. You got to catch it first. Back and forth we go. Very exciting action here, Joe.
End to end. We'll see where the strength and legs is. We said that JD's had 3 games in 3 days.
And back we go the other way. Devin Canale finally controls, and we go the other way. Devin Canale, the long stick, throws it too high for Jackson. .345 to go.
See a couple players holding their heads up over hands up over their heads, trying to get a good lung full of air. That back-to-back, or should say full field running, really takes a lot out of them, especially when the field's soft.
Midfielders.
Yeah, field's a little soft and spongy too, as I said. So.
And Marcellus loses it. Roosh had it knocked away.
Marcellus has got time in a settled situation now to get down, protect the crease area. Everybody take a man. Let's see what they do if they made an adjustment with their close defense.
6-4 Red Rams on top of Marcellus. Jackson, the big scorer so far, with 3 goals. Roosh comes up with a loose ball.
Goalie's covered.
And a flag on the play is going to be on JD.
Number 12, white, slashes, 1 minute, midfield possession.
That one's going to go on Paul Schroeder, number 12.
Got him for slashing.
1 minute.
And not only that, it's a free clear because it happened in Marcellus's defensive end of the field. So the ball be put in play in the center of the field, free clear for Marcellus. Good opportunity for him.
Down by 2. They've had 2 man-up situations and they've yet to score. Both times JD has been able to take it away, and one time actually JD was able to score after taking it away. Longville has a hat trick as they work the perimeter.
Feed to the crease.
Aitchison can't handle it in front. Wolfganger tries to shovel it. Longville with a nice move and a score.
Well, that was a pretty move by Longville. That was pretty. He just did a little head fake, roll move, and he's got 4. That is just a pretty individual effort by the coach's son. Take a look as it comes to him from behind. Just there, defensive moves up to him. He makes a little roll move, just pretty. Leaves the defense flat-footed. And good position of the ball right at the goalie's feet.
Score's now 6-5. And a great individual battle going on right now between John Longville and Doug Jackson for the Onondaga Sports Medicine Player of the Game. Longville with 4 and Jackson with 3 already. And we're still 2:43 away from halftime.
Big face-off.
One thing to watch now, Joe, every time Marcellus gets it within 1, JD seems to score quickly to put it back up to 2.
That's why I said big face-off. If Marcellus can come up with it and get some momentum down at this end of the field, that might take JD out of that quick return on investment, so to speak. You score on me, I'm right back with one.
2:22 to go, and we're looking at the scoreboard now. It says 5-5, but we know it's 6-5. We've been informed that the 5 is a 6.
There's a bulb burnt out on that scoreboard panel.
Some people in the crowd below us were wondering if the people up here knew what the score was.
Probably for want of a 40-watt bulb. We're all wondering. All the people in the crowd, anyway.
Murphy.
He slipped right there, too. That wing area on our near side is where Doust fell, and Murphy lost footing there, too. That's a high crown on this field, and as you get to this side here, he slips right away.
Doust did return, but he's not on the field right now. Murphy's been playing for much of the second quarter. Doust did come back, and you and I both noticed that he was favoring the left leg. And I'm sure Coach Longville noticed it too. Deflection in front. Sheridan's able to come up with it. And now he's way out. Ellis steps in the crease.
When you got a goaltender out that far, you know, it's good that the defense is smart enough to get in the cage. But at the same time, the coach has got to worry that if they don't come up with the ball, any kind of movement back there, that's a small head on the defenseman's stick compared to that big one that the goaltender has.
Coach Postello putting in the riding unit. Brian Hubbard in there, and Canale, who's been very aggressive in the offensive half for a long stickman. JD almost with a good opportunity there.
Big turnover, and they have numbers, does JD.
Sheridan is way out of the cage. Loose ball penalty coming up. It's going to go against Marcellus, so JD will get it back with under a minute to play. So again, as the story of the first half, Marcellus unable to clear. JD with a turnover, and now they get to put it in play from the sideline.
You see number 43 ends up on his face, but prior to that, he made the push that caused the turnover, and Marcellus is going to be on defense with under a minute, and they're going to have to really come up big on defense right here. They want to shut JD down for the rest of this half.
Jackson, the pass in front. Shot goes just wide. But JD maintains possession.
Good break for the Green.
39 seconds. Remember back in the first quarter, a similar situation. They started in their own end and were able to work it down for a score with 5 seconds left in the first quarter. 6-5, and JD brings back their long sticks. Cleary and Canale, also Pete Patrika in the game, as they're a very good unit against the clear.
Okay, Marcellus, good communication. They cleared to an area, and they had green shirts going to it. And now it's timeout with Marcellus figuring, well, we got just about the same as if we're up for a half a minute. Let's see what our man-up offense can do, even though we're not man-up. Let's maybe take a look at that. We got a 30-second offense.
Timeouts don't carry over, and very few timeouts being used here in the first half, so might as well use them. You can't put them in your pocket.
That's true. But as I was saying, just to equate this, they're not man-up, but there's a certain offense you run with about a half a minute to go. Take a look at the flag furling in the breeze there. It's a nice breezy day, and that's contributed to drying out of the fields. We've had some good wind to do that. And even though we've had our late snowstorm in April.
This is the Marcellus cheering section that we were looking at. 28 seconds to go. 6-5 in favor of JD, and they had a chance to make it 7-5.
Got the ball behind where you want it. They go to feed the cutter coming over there, but the defense is right there to put a stick on it, and then they sweep it away. Nice job to clear it away from the crease area. The key to that was the defensive head-up play by the long stick. Had his stick up in the air, and when they say stick check, when the ball's behind, they pass the center. It just slaps down. It's exactly the way you want to do it.
They're going to bring back Doust for the final 28 seconds. He's had 12 assists on the season, so he's a great passer.
I think they might run an ISO.
Longville has 4 goals. He's got it now. Doust looks at the clock, which is on the opposite end of the stadium. Down to 8 seconds. Man in front, Aitchison. Longville comes up with it, tries to pass it in front. That's on the back of the net. And that'll end the first half. Well, actually, stoppage in play now.
No, there was no whistle. They just kept going. He had 4 seconds to clear it out of the crease area once he had possession.
So the first half in the books, a very good one, 6-5. Things settled down a bit in the second quarter after an up and down first quarter. We'll be back with the halftime stats. 6-5 JD. We'll be back after this.
Thanks to these airbags here, this job is now a piece of cake, Claire.
But Vince...
Yeah, I'll tell you something, partner. I just might stick around a few more years.
But Vince...
No more dashboard du jour or Vince under glass, huh?
But Vince...
Look out!
Even with airbags, Vince, you still got to remember to buckle your safety belt.
Now you tell me.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Says that colon cancer is 90% curable if treated early. Maybe we should get a checkup.
Honey, I have more important things to worry about right now.
Welcome back to Jamesville-Dewitt High School. Dave Jagler along with Joe Insel. A good first half of lacrosse here, 6-5 the score in favor of JD. Some numbers now from the first half, as it was a pretty even game.
Until you look at the first number that jumps right out. Yeah. At you, excuse me, shots on Cates. JD up 10, 18-8. And ground balls pretty much even. Clears, again, JD 100%, 13 for 13 on clears, and that's the name of the game in transition. And also Marcellus penalty free.
JD with 3 penalties, which really kept Marcellus in the game a little bit.
Right. Face-offs, again, dominated by JD, and these numbers just bounce around so much, you begin to wonder, how can the game be so close? It's been that kind of a game where the numbers sometimes don't always show you exactly what the score is.
We want to clarify something that happened in the first half. There was a goal, the third Jamesville-Dewitt goal. We couldn't tell who scored it. It was indeed Doug Jackson, number 15. That gives him 4 goals today. And it was assisted by number 9, John Pisano. So 4 goals for Jackson and 4 goals for John Longville of Marcellus. So the way you look at it, there have been 3 other goals scored, so both those guys are outscoring everyone else.
I guess there's an open on the crease. Oh, make that goal number 5 for him. It's a feed to Waldman right at the crease, and you can't leave a man alone on the crease. Guys, long sticks, you might want to take a look at where you sit. There's the feed right to the crease. Look at him, he is all alone. Defender starts to make a move. All he can do is lunge. Can't get a stick on his stick. And what you want to do is stop the stick, not the body, because the stick is where the ball's coming from.
Second one for Waldman. And that's got to be so demoralizing for Marcellus. They keep getting it down to 1, and JD keeps bringing it right back up to a 2-goal lead, and especially 14 seconds into the half to get a goal that easily.
And again, an unsettled situation. If not for that pass, JD had the numbers. The face-offs continue to be a dominant role in the game, the flow of this game. On the head, right there. And
little extracurricular.
Yep. Little frustration. Little frustration as the guys are snapping the ball around. It was right in front of the official, Jake Curran. And Jake threw that flag right at the infraction, which is going to be a slash on the head. Should be a 1-minute penalty. I'm sorry, it was Mr. Murphy on this side. Jake's on the far side. The officials change at halftime. And right in front of the official, you're going to see this that leads up to the penalty. It's going to come up with the ground ball, and bingo, right there on the head. It's like a tap, and there you can see the flag.
Waldman will get flagged for it. And very fortunate for Chrysler that he wasn't called for the retaliatory shot.
Exactly.
He could have been given a 1-minute penalty for that. But instead, the 4th JD penalty, Marcellus on the man up again. And like we saw with the halftime stats, one thing favoring JD, the face-offs, but Marcellus getting the penalty advantage. But a nice save that time, and now he lost the ball off his cross. And very fortunate for Kresge, he threw it and it didn't go anywhere. And for a moment, he didn't know where the ball was. Very fortunate that Marcellus couldn't take advantage.
Chrysler was playing catch with a goaltender on that shot, though. He held his stick up there and just flicked it right into the goaltender's stick. Nice save.
Here's a look at Kresge.
Yep, he's got 4
Watch
seconds.
This.
It just
whiff.
falls right out. Yep. And one of the things when you want to clear, you might want to step to the left or to the right of your cage, because it's very often that the ball can roll right in off your cross into the cage. Put one on the board for the opposition easily that way.
Penalty not released. JD was not able to clear it. So Marcellus remains on the man up for about 20 more seconds. Longwill in possession, swings it behind to Aitchison.
It's some movement by the middies. He had a stick on it. Nice job by the defense.
Second time Chrysler has taken what you could call an ill-advised shot. That time a man right on him and he was too far out.
One of the things he might would do, get the man on him, make a little roll move. We saw Longwill do that in the other end of the field a little bit a while ago, and then he scored off the move. Don't just stand there, let the defenseman come to you and not do something. If he's coming to you, he commits. Boom, you want to roll off him and make step to the goal and shoot.
JD with a steal, and the penalty is released as the minute has expired. There's a trip that's not called.
He was going for the ball.
You always take the official side, Joe, being one yourself. JD kills off another penalty, but now Marcellus takes it right away.
Nice look. Good job by Murphy. Anticipates the man on, but then he loses it. Cross crease.
Jackson for number 5. No contest.
No contest. Defense couldn't get back in time. He does a pump fake, and then he just goes high. That was just a pretty unsettled situation. JD knows what to do when they get the ball and they have numbers.
We'll take a look at it one more time. JD off the steal. Marcellus again not able to clear.
Goes to the left of the goalie, then across crease. Nobody on him. See the defense is trying to make a move. One fake low. Go high. Just can't leave a goaltender alone like that.
Jackson with number 5. And Marcellus wants to talk it over. Some confusion now on the score. It is 8-5 in favor of JD. As it was 6-5 at halftime, and Jackson with a goal and Waldman with a goal here in the second half. And
we have that light on the scoreboard that's out again. So the 6s
so the scoreboard
look like
says
5s,
8, but it looks like a 9.
And the 8s look like 9s. Same light bulbs out.
The goal is now 8-5.
Doug Jackson, who now has 5 goals. Interesting story. He's going to Syracuse along with Wolfhanger. And Jamesville-Dewitt, their JV team, is coached by Roy Simmons III. So we see a little connection there.
I was talking to Roy at a college program a couple days ago. He was sitting in the stands when Syracuse University was playing at Hobart. He said, the crowd's pretty vicious. He said, I like it down the sidelines where all we have to do is worry about lacrosse. Now he's a JV coach. I said, well, you know.
Is he still working with his dad? I know he was an assistant last year with the team.
No, Laddie Horrell's come in to assist now. Laddie Horrell used to be a varsity lacrosse coach at CNS. Prior to that, he was an assistant with the West Genesee program. And Roy III, no, is devoting his time to JV.
Of course, he's got to work his way up by the time his dad retires to keep it in the Simmons family, where it's been since, I think, 1920.
A lot of conjecture for that. He sits up in the press box with Grandpa a lot, he says. Big face-off for JD, unsettled.
They lead at 8-5. Jackson is open again.
We got a flag down.
Coach John Longville's got to be starting to get frustrated. Every time Jackson gets the ball in his cross, something good is happening for JD. We'll take a look now at the penalty. It's going to go against Marcellus, the first one.
Nice dish off to the side. He tries again to make a fake.
Nice play by the defenseman coming out of nowhere. Germain.
Penalty was away from our action on this side. It's a 1-minute slash against Marcellus. And it's going to be against Eric Doust. And while he's in the penalty box, Marcellus is going to have to try to dodge another bullet because this would be a big goal for JD.
They're already up 3, and Jackson, working up top this time, fires one too high.
He must have saw something I didn't see because the defense was, I thought, compressed in there. When you're man up, you might want to move in a little bit closer, get a higher percentage shot. You are up a man after all.
Well, he did score like that earlier, a case maybe thinking he could do a little bit too much. after scoring one time earlier with the very hard shot that he has.
There you go.
JD works it around. Jackson again. And again, too high.
John Matthews is on this side, and he's alone. So you got to watch the possible rotation where they get the ball backdoor again on him. There's a shot, goes way high, but they're right in front of your camera is number 16. He's sitting there all alone, no defenders on him. If they go across crease to him, there's a possibility Marcellus will not get a slide, and he'll get a shot open.
Pierce was open in front, but Marcellus able to recover. They look for the clear, but JD and Devin Canale steal it right back.
And Sheridan's out of the cage.
Jackson gives it off and a score. Jeremy Waldman off the feed from Doug Jackson. 9-5.
That was a pretty behind-the-back pass over to him as the defender was coming out to check, but the goaltender was way out of the cage. He's trying to get back. No way he can do so. Just a nice quick move in an unsettled situation, and on those unsettled situations, Marcellus is getting hammered.
And an unselfish play by Jackson. He saw that the keeper was out of the crease, and he could have shot it himself, but the man was open on the side of him, Waldman, and now Waldman with 3 goals. So it's really been a two-man show. Jackson with 5, Waldman now with 3, and Kidney with 1 for JD.
Big period for JD this far.
It was 6-5 at halftime, and 3-goal advantage for the Red Rams here in the third.
And another face-off.
We played 4 minutes here in the third quarter. Jackson, a good individual move. Waldman was alone in front, but couldn't handle it. Here's a shot that goes wide. JD playing behind the cage. Jackson slips down as he's double teamed. Finally, Marcellus with an answer to Doug Jackson.
Here's ahead to Murphy and a fast break if he can keep the legs.
Big chance here for Marcellus. They trail by 4. JD has all the momentum right now. Longville tries it.
Sidearm sort of skim shot on Longville's part.
And you may be wondering why it's JD's ball after it hit off Aitchison, but he didn't have possession, and after the shot, he was there to back up. Gives another look at the shot, skims it just wide. Aitchison working against Wolfhanger. Both slip down. Pass in front. The quick stick attempt is no good. Marcellus can't control the rebound. Well, Devin Canale sure is fast, looking to put the distance between himself and Chrysler.
This transition game could be Marcellus's undoing, except that right now they come up with the ball.
It's got to be a good feeling if you're JD when your defenseman can outrun the other team's midfielders. Here's an opportunity, but Marcellus can't finish it. Moses had the shot right on the right pipe. At one point, a 3-on-1 was developing for Marcellus.
Here it comes over to Moses. He's just going to take a quick stick, but he didn't get his angle properly. He was kind of running while he was shooting. Felt the pressure coming from his left.
Longville plays from behind the cage with a right-hand cradle.
Nice roll move.
With Canale, a good recovery.
Go!
Good rotation by Marcellus attack. Now Moses behind.
Aitchison, rebound to Marcellus, pass back in front. Doust loses his cross.
Gotta have 2 hands on the ground ball. He went after it with 1 and it got checked right out of his stick.
Cleary with the long stick. Pass in front. And Patrica fanned on the shot. Loose ball whistle's gonna be coming up against Marcellus.
Ball's going to be put in play outside the box when it comes back in again. Midfield change on both sides. Doust takes a breather. Moving a little bit better on that leg, actually, as the game progresses. You wondered if it maybe sized up or tightened up on him at halftime, but it seems not to have been the case.
9-5 in favor of JD.
Shadows are long from this side of the field, so we'll see where the shot selection comes from. Anything on this side.
Marcellus can't clear it.
Nice save by Sheridan.
Marcellus with a successful clear this time. And now they get it over midfield, and JD takes it right back. Good play by Doug Ross, a second-line midfielder for JD.
Derek Bell had his arm out a little bit and allowed that ball to be checked. Got to pull it in and closer to your body, prevent that kind of a swing stick to knock it out of your hand.
You heard the call from the official. Hand on the back against JD.
He's pushing with his free hand.
3:05 to go. It's been all JD here in the third quarter after an even first half. We'll take another look at the violation, the loose ball push.
Right there,
against
number
JD.
16. He pushes with his left hand. Nice camera work. Get a good look at that penalty, and that's the situation that turned it all the way over. And then right away, Marcellus loses the ball. Flag is down.
It's going to be a delayed call against Marcellus.
Ball's out of the box, or on the ground.
Joe, you can't say enough about the job of the defensive midfielders for JD. Those are the guys that are really providing a lot of trouble for Marcellus when they're trying to clear. Pete Patrica, Paul Cleary, Devin Canale switches up to the defensive midfield position. They're causing a lot of trouble, and you saw the numbers in the first half, much the same in the second half, where Marcellus can't even get the ball over midfield.
I know it. Now they're faced with a man down for 30 seconds because of an offside penalty, and there's a number of shots. Obviously, the JD is getting the offensive shots as you indicated, and they're peppering the cage. Sheridan's come up with some nice saves, but you just can't get in that kind of situation where they're allowing to shoot on him like that.
JD up by 4 goals. They're on the man-up situation. Bounce shot and a score. Cable Pierce makes it 10-5. And that's the first goal by a midfielder for JD. First goal by someone other than an attackman.
It'll be a feed over to the center of the crease, and he just does a sidearm shot, just skims right in front of the goaltender, and Sheridan can't see it or can't address where the ball is coming. It just kind of skims right over in the left corner. Sometimes a skim shot like that you can't see because the bodies of defenders and cutters are in front of you.
So 4 unanswered goals here in the third quarter for JD. Illegal procedure on the face-off will be called against JD, so Marcellus ball.
This quarter's been all JD, and Marcellus needs a goal real quick.
They'd like to cut it down to 4 or 3, a 4 or 3 goal deficit if they could here.
A lot of white shirts on that ground ball.
And quick transition by the Red Rams. Here they come, Patrica, but a nice play there by Germain to knock it away, as Patrica had a 4-on-3. And that's going to be a clear push in the back against Marcellus.
Loose ball push, and it's going to be JD's ball outside the box. Take a look at the play develops.
Patrica,
you can see right there. Bingo, here he comes right
nailed
from behind.
by Germain.
Very clearly, the ball is loose, though. So there's loss of possession. Or I should say the possession goes to the team that was offended, in that case, JD.
Teams at even strength, 10-5, the score. Here's a nice move, shot wide. Looked almost like a pass, but I think he was shooting it.
I think it was a pass, I'm not sure, because he just kind of floated over to the right there. He didn't have much velocity on it. We'll never know.
He'll say it was a pass.
If it went in, he'd say it was a shot all the way. That's true.
Marcellus looking to take advantage here. Moses. Fight for the loose ball, controlled by JD.
If Battaglia had come up with that loose ball right there, he was one-on-one with a goaltender on the other end. That would have been a perfect opportunity for Marcellus.
JD starting to rotate their midfielders in now. John Matthews and Doug Ross getting some playing time.
Ooh, almost rolled off him. Sheridan made the stop, but it lost sight of the ball for a second and almost rolled off his crease into the cage.
Under a minute to play here in the third. A quarter dominated by the Red Rams. 4 unanswered goals here in the period.
Not sure if it was a push with possession. It looks like it might be a time served penalty. We'll take a look as they make the call. Yep, it's 1 minute for a slash.
So 50 seconds to play, 10-5. And really, you think if Marcellus is going to have any chance to get back in the game in the fourth quarter, they want to put one in here and get it down to 10-6.
As you mentioned, Dave, a big sequence for Marcellus. The Mustangs need one on the board, and it wouldn't be a bad idea if they ended this period with one.
They ended the first with a goal. Aitchison swings it around. Doused at the top of the box.
Murphy.
Quick shot. And
giving it to
really
White.
A breakdown there as Aitchison was supposed to be behind the cage, but he wasn't there, and that'll drive a coach crazy when you're not there to back up.
Oh, when you're man up, you should have a rotation such that you got a man behind. There's a shot. Murphy goes wide, and the goaltender, good hustle by him. He just continues all the way back there and backs it up. And JD comes up with the ball. As you said, that's got to drive a coach nuts. It certainly does. First of all, you're a man advantage. You've got enough men to put one behind. That's what I was talking about rotation earlier. If you got one coming around, you got to have another guy replacing him behind.
It's going to be a 5-on-6 on the ride here.
Pressure the ball, fellas. Green, you've got a man advantage still.
If Canale can get it over the line, he does. That'll release the penalty.
He does. They're equal, but they're not equal yet because you can't release the bench area and get over the middle of the field that fast.
Still, they almost scored as they did earlier on a similar situation.
11 seconds left. You know, a lot of people say, we're even, as the guy comes out of the penalty box. Well, he's got a long way to go to get down there to be in the flow of the play. So you don't want to say you're even until he's already down there. Because then you're going from zone to man defense, for example, and you can't make that change unless your man's already there.
11 seconds to play in the third quarter, 10-5. Sheridan in control. And Marcellus will elect to run out the clock. And the clock says 0, but the officials don't see it yet. Now finally, one of the officials checks the clock. No time left here in the third quarter. The score 10-5 in favor of JD. Joe and I will be back with the fourth quarter right after this.
A lot of my friends have already retired. But I wasn't ready for that. So I'm still teaching. This time in Belize, Central America. I decided to join the Peace Corps. I love my kids. And the way I figure it, I have the rest of my life to play cards.
Peace Corps, the toughest job you'll ever love.
Some tennis going on, a beautiful day for tennis. There's tennis on one side of the field, baseball on the other, a varsity game between JD and Marcellus going on. But our focus, lacrosse.
Well, we felt like the mole people for the last few months. There's a baseball game going out over there. We're all glad to get out and enjoy some sun. Feels like conditions pretty good shape.
Marcellus has a rally going, second and third. Maybe they're doing a little better over there than they are over here.
Yeah, they're going to have to turn it around. This has got to be their quarter because the third quarter most certainly belonged to Jamesville-Dewitt Red Rams.
JD holding a raffle. Did you win?
No, I didn't.
I didn't either.
Something about being up here and not being able to throw my hat in the ring, but that's okay. You think they'd think it would fix if I did, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Jim Costello has to feel good up by 5.
He's got to like what his offense is doing, and they're playing pretty heads up.
And the face-off's a big key.
Continues to be a main ingredient, and it's reflective of the score. Again, another face-off for JD, so I tell you, their domination in the face-off area is critical.
Pierce brings it into the box. And JD showing no effects of playing 3 games in 4 days, as it seems they're everywhere on the defense and offensive end. Good play there from Ellis. loses it out of bounds.
Defense want to have their sticks in the air so they can deny those cross-crease passes, and that's Ellis had his stick up. It didn't go cross-crease, but it was meant to feed the attack behind. Sticks right up there where it's supposed to be, deny the pass.
Kidney loses it behind the cage, but he's able to get it back. There was a stick right in the shoulder that wasn't called.
See, the check area, legal check area is from the neck to the waist, and if he was turning, the official might have thought he had a chance to get the ball, and that's why he didn't whistle it down.
JD holding for over a minute here.
Had a double, but it was a little too slow in developing.
JD almost playing a game of keep away here against the zone. Now an open man, Kidney. Nice save by Sheridan.
Big play by Marcellus. Now they got to turn it around and get up on the other end of the field and put one in the cage for Sheridan to thank him for that one.
The shot's heavily in favor of JD. Sheridan's been under fire all game. He's given up 10 goals, but really it could be more than that. He's made some marvelous saves.
He's been left alone on some of these unsettled situations. The close D has to make an adjustment and help him out.
Here's a breakout for Marcellus. It seems whenever Marcellus has a breakout, JD's able to get back, but it doesn't happen the other way.
That's off-white.
.735 to play, still 10-5 in favor of JD.
I tell you, Marcellus has shown me quite a bit. They're still playing aggressively. They're still in the game as far as they're concerned. This 5-goal lead is not insurmountable. Got a lot of time left, and they're playing very aggressively in the open field. I like to see that.
It'll be Marcellus ball. Just outside the box on the left wing. For Marcellus, John Longwill, the big gun with 4 goals. He came into the game with 5.
There's a nice crease.
And there's a score.
That was pretty. That was pretty.
Mike Battaglia.
On a feed from Murphy. That was nice.
With a goal number 5 for him this season.
Get the defense spread around, and Battaglia is going to get the feed from Murphy and just quick sticks down. Gets the goalie to come out and commit high, and he just rolls it over and goes low. Nice bounce shot right in the cage.
And off camera right now, the Marcellus defenders are huddling with the goalie, and they're telling themselves to buckle down here. It's 10-6 now, and the faceoff's so key. If Marcellus wants to get back, they'll have to start controlling faceoffs. 7:24 to go. And JD wins yet another. Hard to come back when you don't have possession.
I should say.
There's a cutter and a score.
Boy, did he thread the needle. Top left corner on the stick side of Sheridan. And Matthews puts one in there, threads the needle, goes high. And boy, oh boy, what does that take the wind out of the Marcellus sails, like you were saying. If they get a goal back, and just as that, quick as that, JD catches right back with them.
Seems they've had an answer at every step. Every time Marcellus scores, JD wins the faceoff. There's 16-4 advantage in that department now. And they're very good in transition. They don't just get the faceoff and then lose it. They get it and they work it in front. Usually capitalize and make it count.
Good job by Murphy. You credit the wing middies. Sometimes they will get the draw that the faceoff middie doesn't get. Good look, good look. It's in there, it should be. Yep, they rolled over that line. He tried to rake it back, but he didn't.
The original shot taken by Mark McGrath. We'll take another look at it.
There's his overhead shot, and it just gets underneath the goalkeeper and just creeps. You can't see it, but it just creeps across the line. But the Marcellus attack was right there, and they said it's ours. They're right there, and the official on the far side spotted it as well.
And now at that time, Marcellus winning the faceoff, they get the quick answer.
Okay, it's got to be the wing middies if the faceoff middie isn't going to do it. They're going to have to come out big on faceoffs. As Murphy pursuing on this side, we got number 21.
Cable Pierce has been doing an outstanding job for JD, and they almost answer again. At that time, Matthews was going for number 2. .6:34 to go, still plenty of time. Marcellus down by 4, and that time JD just missed making it 5, as you saw in the replay.
That was just a little bit close off to the side. Good shot selection, though. He had the right idea.
Dave Kidney double teamed. They work it around in front. Crazy, nice. Looked more like a shot originally, but instead it was a pass to Kidney, who was all alone on the right pipe. That was my mistake. I thought it was a wild shot attempt, but Kidney, who stands 6'4", he's a big target to pass to as you look at it again.
Ground level, take a look. The defense is trying desperately, but he just leans over and it takes every inch of that 6'4" and just flips it right in there. That's again where the defense is overplaying on the other side and leaving someone like Kidney to roll around, just creep around there, and then get that quick stick.
And Kidney, a very big target at 6'4", 175. He camped himself out right of the cage, and he was all alone. 12-7, here's Jackson going for number 6. Out of bounds to JD.
JD's got some tall players on this team. You got Sullivan on defense. He's 6'4" too. They put some height on there.
Kind of a contrasting style for Kidney at 6'4", Jackson at just 5'8". But the two work very well in tandem.
That's one of the beauties of the sport of lacrosse. You don't have to be tall, you don't have to be short. You can just be any size and play this game well. There's a slash. Flag is down, the ball is loose, and here's your whistle.
And Marcellus will not be able to come back doing that. They now trail 12-7.
Michael Smith going to be down for a minute. His stick just came up and hit him right in the face. Watch your, there it is. Just came up with a stick. Poke check, you don't want to lunge. You poke check, you stop a stick length away and start to get position. I'll let the offense make their commitment, but he didn't. He lunged, and he would have been beaten anyway, but they got him right on the head.
Schroeder to put it in. Under 6 minutes to go. Of course, Joe and I will have the Onondaga Sports Medicine Player of the Game following the conclusion of this ball game. And if the score holds up, Joe, really not that difficult a choice this week.
It's been...
And speaking of him, Jackson makes it number 6. So 6 goals in back-to-back games for Doug Jackson. He had 6 yesterday against Homer, 6 today against Marcellus.
You say he's in the groove? I'd say so. Take a look at it. It's going to be dishing off to the right, and then right down here, right? You're looking right over his shoulder. He gets a step to the cage. Nobody's on him. Bingo, shot. When you get that close, and they've been scoring, he's got 6 goals. Somebody's got to say, I ought to stay a stick length away from this guy. He's dangerous no matter where he is.
Before this 2-day stretch, Doug Jackson only had 5 goals, and maybe saying, why 5 goals in 4 games and then 12 goals in 2 games? He was injured at the beginning of the year. In the opening game of the season, he bruised his shoulder. Actually missed a game against Fayetteville Manlius, a game that JD lost 8-3. So that was a very tough situation for them, playing FM without their top scorer. But he's come back very well, as you can see today.
We almost had a goal right there. He was open right in the crease area. Goaltending's out of the cage.
Rugby scrum on the far sideline. Finally, JD will control it.
He tried to dump it all the way down there, maybe an ill-advised pass because they did have momentum. They had the ball down at this end again, took the wind out of Marcellus' sails, denying them the clear. Could have come over on the other side maybe a little bit and worked the ball in for a score. take some time off the clock because Marcellus needs points, not time.
JD changing up their lineup a bit. Leading by 6. And Marcellus can't afford to waste time here in their own end.
Nice aggressive ride.
The story of the game, face-offs and clears. Two very simple statistics, and sounds simple on paper, but really the difference in the game.
When you've got a team that's a transition team, and JD certainly plays that kind of ball very well, face-offs are going to be a very critical part, and as you said, the clears.
JD's going to take a timeout with 3:53 to go and a 6-goal advantage. And they certainly have to like their chances now, going 4-0 in the league.
Well, they're showing the league, they're sending the league a message. First of all, they played some Division I programs, and now Marcellus, a credible team, a very strong program, has done well in the league thus far, coming in undefeated and getting handed, you know, a 13-7 game at this point. Even they're going to need to get a couple goals to get back into the swing of things, because they're really down right now. You can see that a little bit. It's a very important emotional huddle for Marcellus. Coach Longwell's got to get their spirits back up again, get them focused again. Say they've got, well, just under 4 minutes, 3:53. You can put a few points on the board, and let's try to win this quarter, he's got to say. That's a, you know, they got to get them focused.
Still a long season to be played, and always a chance to meet him again in the playoffs, of course.
I can't believe you said that. I was about to say the same thing. It's very likely these guys will see each other again. We're thinking the same, that's for sure.
JD with the ball and a 6-goal lead.
Let's go, guys. Keep moving. There you go.
And Jackson, who has it right now, the dominant force in this game with 6 goals, and he almost had an assist right there.
Coach's son, Chris Postello, almost had a goal.
On a beautiful pass from Jackson. 3:20 to go. Shot blocked in the middle. But JD will keep it.
This is frustrating for Marcellus because they need the ball desperately.
JD's in no hurry at all. And when they do get it, they get hammered, as Bell was right there. Derek Bell had his bell rung, so to speak.
Play on words. Exactly.
Thank you. Jackson gives it off. Shot blocked. Sounded like off a helmet.
It's going to stay Jamesville-Dewitt. That was a big, good job by backing up on that one.
You can hear Coach Postello shouting out the instructions as they try to play keep away. The outlet pass intended for Douse is picked off. Coming down on 2 minutes to play, John Matthews, who got in the scoring column earlier, gives it off to Jackson. We'll see if he looks for number 7, but instead he passes off. Jackson with 6 goals and 1 assist. Interesting call there, Joe. Delay of game.
I wasn't able to see the official give him a warning. He would say normally, get it in, keep it in. And inside 2 minutes, if you do not keep it in and you are in a stall, you're going to get loss of possession. That's what happened to JD. We're at a minute 39, and that stall warning goes into effect when the 2-minute warning starts.
Marcellus on the break. And they'll take a timeout. 1:26 to go, 13-7. The score remains in favor of JD. They'll raise their record to 5-2 overall, 4-0 in league play. And Marcellus will also fall to 5-2, so both teams with 5-2 overall records. But the Mustangs will be 3-1 in Division III games.
Well, they're probably saying, and we were glad to see this team come into our division. Well, you know, Coach Pastillo, I guess, in an article I read in the newspaper a few weeks ago, was really pleased to make that change in the division to Division III. He liked the makeup of the league, the way the teams they would have to play, Homer, Tully, Marcellus. He was happy with that change, and in retrospect, I can see why.
All you have to do is drive a little farther, that's all.
That's true. Again, that change from Division II to Division III was dictated by enrollment in the school. There's just fewer of them out here these days.
Minute 20 to go, Marcellus down by 6. Murphy trying to make a move.
He's doubled.
Flag will be on JD. And now it hits the ground, and Marcellus will get a man-up chance. JD played a little more disciplined here in the second half after taking 3 penalties in the first. It's Marcellus that's been taking the penalties here in the second half.
Yes, I guess so. Paul Clary, defensive midi with a long stick, is going to sit for a minute. There it is right there. He swung around, hit him.
Back to live action. Marcellus trying to cut it to 5. Aitchison chasing it down in the corner. Looked like he almost used his glove to pick it up, which is obviously a violation.
That's for sure. Right on the end line. There you go.
.36 seconds to go. 34 left in the penalty. There's a snapshot and a save.
Didn't have a lot on it. He was a little off balance when he shot and no follow through. Kind of flat-footed on the shot, but nevertheless he was trying.
Marcellus trying again.
A feed into the coverage, sticks flying a little bit. Got to keep it in control, guys.
Chrysler has it behind the cage. Picked off nicely by Wolfhanger. 5 seconds to go. And JD will run out the clock. And that one won't count, obviously. The final score, 13-7. We've got the Onondaga Sports Medicine Player of the Game coming up, and really no mystery about who that's going to be. Joe and I will return right after this.
Stepping back just a couple of picks to the 17th selection in the first round, with a pick originally owned by Washington, Atlanta. Their second selection going for Tim Green, linebacker.
After all these years in the NFL with the Atlanta Falcons, I've taken my share of bumps and bruises. I know how important sports medicine is. That's why I recommend Onondaga Sports Medicine. Whether you're a professional or a weekend athlete, Don Lowe and his professionally trained staff at Onondaga Sports Medicine will treat you like a pro.
Welcome back to Jamesville-Dewitt High School. JD, a big winner today over Marcellus. They remain undefeated in the league with a 13-7 win. I'm joined now by our Onondaga Sports Medicine Player of the Game, Doug Jackson. Congratulations on the award. And now 6 goals today, 2 assists. 6 goals yesterday versus Homer. You're in quite a groove right now, don't you think?
I guess so. A lot of guys have been giving me some nice feeds, so just been pretty much putting them away. I guess yesterday I was camped out on the crease, I guess, for most of the game, so I knocked some goals then. But today, I guess it was an all-around effort from everyone, and glad we came out on top.
2 keys today. we were talking about in the stats, rides and faceoffs. The faceoffs were something like 16-5 in your favor, and they were having a lot of trouble clearing the ball. It's got to be a credit to your team to really dominate those two categories like that.
Well, Cable Pierce is he does an excellent job on the faceoffs. He's got to be one of the better ones in the section. Riding, we've just been trying to work pretty hard on staying, not getting dodged, and just keeping them from advancing the ball, you know, not going for any checks on the ride. But on face-offs, that's all. Cable Pierce and the wing guys do an excellent job. Derek Wolfhanger, Paul Schroeder, Devin Canale do an excellent job picking up the ball.
You're getting heckled by a few of your friends over there, but right now the record at 5-2. You had a loss to West Jenny over the weekend. How did that game prepare you for what you're coming up against in the league for the rest of the season?
It prepared us a lot. West Genesee is a great team. Coach Costello likes to schedule a lot of non-league games, Beeville, FM, West Jenny. He likes to play, the best teams possible to get us prepared for sectionals and the rest of the league games. And West Jenny was a tough loss, but we were happy that it was a close game. And we play Beeville next Saturday, and hopefully that will prepare us too for a lot of other league games that we play. So.
Halftime score today against Marcellus was 6-5. What was the key in the third quarter when you guys really put some distance between yourselves, scoring four unanswered goals like you did?
Well, basically, Cable was getting the face-offs. Cable and Derek were bringing the ball up quick, starting some fast breaks. Halftime coach, said not playing up to our potential. Marcellus was staying with us, and we still want to stay undefeated in the league, so as far as we can. And so that pretty much got us psyched up for the second half to come out and score some goals.
Okay, we'll take a look at one of your goals right now. This is the third of your 6 goals today, and just describe us what happened here, as it was you guys were up by 1 at this point in the second quarter.
Well, I got the ball on the wing, and nobody really came out and picked me up right away, so I just fired it into the net, I guess, in the back of the net, I guess.
And at that point, you guys went up by 2, and Marcellus kept it close for a little while, but you guys prevailed 13-7. And Doug, before I let you go, I have to ask you, next year, Coach Roy Simmons getting himself a fine player at SU.
Thank you very much. I'm pretty excited about playing there. Hope I can do well.
Our Onondaga Sports Medicine Player of the Game, Doug Jackson. Congratulations. Thank you. Joe Insel will be back to talk to the winning coach, Joe Costello, right after this.
Lacrosse, the power behind the game.
Welcome back. We're with winning coach Jim Costello. Coach, you got to feel good. A big win in the division.
Yes, we started a little slow on defense, but kids came back and played hard. I didn't know what to expect 3 games in a row. We looked a little tired, but I think that second half we got our win back and controlled the game.
I'd say win back. That third quarter, you lit a fire.
Yes, we did. Cable Pierce did a great job at midfield. I mean, he controlled the midfield. He had a couple goals, I think, face-off, fast breaks, and if he didn't have those, he won probably 85% of his face-offs.
There was a particular sequence. You're very much a transition team. Face-off did a lot for you, got some goals off, but there was also a point, and we'll look at the monitor to show us where we had interrupted a clear attempt by Marcellus.
Yeah, we were running a zone ride at the time, and the goalie makes a pass, and Devin Canale steals the ball, and Devin's a great defenseman. He's got a good stick. And then he feeds over to Dougie Jackson, and he's up there on our point. Marcellus is playing good defense here. The guy comes in, cuts Doug off on the inside, little behind-the-back pass, and Jeremy Waldens puts it in the cage. That pass is pretty when it works, and he gets yelled at when it doesn't.
I think we said the same thing. It's cute when you make behind-the-back shots and behind-the-back passes when they work.
Yeah.
What's next for JD?
We got Jordan Elbridge on Thursday, and then we got Baldwinsville defending Class A section champ Saturday night.
Well, you haven't shied away from Division I. I made a point earlier in the game. You played FM, you played West Jenny, now you're going to play Beeville.
Yeah, you got to play the best. You got to play the best to be good.
You've sent a message to this Division III. JD's really welcomed, aren't they?
This division is a very tough division. We had a tough game today, tough game against Skinny Atlas. We got to play these guys again. I like this division because it's very competitive.
It's a lot of good teams, and as you said, this was a good game. Except for that third period, it would have been a close one, I think.
Yep. like I said, we won the faceoffs. Our middies really controlled the game. I thought at the beginning it was going to be a midfielder's game, and ended up being a midfielder's game.
And a nice win for JD in the division. Thanks for being with us, Coach. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Game of the Week coverage continues right after this.
Lacrosse, the power behind the game.
Welcome back to Jamesville-Dewitt High School. JD, 13-7 winners over Marcellus. Joe and I are back, and we take a look at the final stats now, and a couple of key numbers are going to jump off the page at you here in favor of JD.
Look at the shots, 43-17. They just dominated. Dominated is an understatement. Saves for Marcellus shows 8, so a lot of those shots maybe went wide of the mark. Ground balls again, JD dominated, and on the bottom face-offs. It was a transition game, and they just peppered the cage.
Also the clears.
Oh yeah, definitely clears again. They were so successful on their transition game. It was a lesson in how to play transition lacrosse.
One comment I have about this game, we gave the player of the game, the Onondaga Sports Medicine player of the game, to Doug Jackson, but if we had 3 or 4 trophies, you could give one to Cable Pierce, you could give one to Wolfhanger, and one to Devin Canale for playing great defense. Really an all-around team effort for JD.
Very definitely, and obviously a strong showing for a team that's just coming back off, 3 games in 4 days, so they're dynamite. They're playing well, they love the division, they're not shying away from talent or from tough competition, as Coach said. They're looking at Beeville a couple games down the road. It's a good year for JD so far.
And one thing, in Marcellus's favor, they'll probably get another chance to see these guys down the road, maybe in the playoffs.
Very likely. Coach Postello said the same thing. They probably will see each other again. Marcellus is going to learn from this experience. They're going to have to adjust a little bit on full field runs in terms of defending a fast break offense, and they're also going to have to work on the faceoffs because you're right, Cable Pierce held a clinic today.
Quite a game for JD. They moved to 4-0 in the league, 5-2 overall. Marcellus drops to 3-1, also 5-2 overall. The final score once again, Jamesville-Dewitt 13, Marcellus 7. For everyone here at New Channels, for Joe Insel, this is Dave Jagler. Have a good afternoon, everyone.